It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
White skies, white skies, white skies. These guys know sports. Yeah. These guys know sports. These guys know.
And welcome to Wise Guys. These guys know sports on this Monday, August the 31st. Another day on the Wise Guys show on the Worldwide Sports Network with my co-host, Mr. Clarence Nixon. What's up, Mr. Nixon?
Man, what's up, Trey? Happy Monday to you, brother. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you, bro. How was your weekend this weekend?
Wasn't working this weekend, relaxing, watching some NBA games. It was a calm, relaxed weekend. I'm ready for this next one because I got to work.
You got to work. Did you do anything special this weekend, man? Did you watch some basketball? I mean, did you
Of course.
Anything?
I watched a couple basketball. Then, I did a little trying to work on this little streaming with Fortnite. So I had a good overall weekend. What about yourself?
Just kind of relaxed and chilled out. Saturday was my dad's birthday, so
okay.
Yeah, I got to chill out with my pops this weekend. It was his birthday, man. So that was definitely, exciting for me, being able to spend some time with my dad watching basketball. That was cool, being able to kick back and just chill. But I want everybody to go and follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_OH, also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. We got a three-star recruit coming on the show today, a commitment to Northwestern from Brooks Barnhizer. We're going to have him on the show here in a bit, so we're excited about that. But Clarence, before we get into the show today and get into our topics, and before we bring on my man Brooks, I want to send some RIP shout-outs to Luke Olson. He's the legendary college coach that died over the weekend and passed away. Also, I want to give a shout-out to Chadwick Boseman. He played in Black Panther, 42. So I want to give him a shout-out, too. He passed away over the weekend. And former NBA player, Cliff Robinson. He used to play with the Portland Trail Blazers. He also passed away this weekend. So I feel like it was only right for us to give some of those, those shout outs to those wonderful people who really, had a major impact on us as a culture and us as a country.
And definitely, former Georgetown coach John Thompson passed away too at the age of 78. So we can't forget about him too.
Yeah,
John Thompson. Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to John Thompson, man. He had a major impact on the development of AI, not only as a player, but as a man. Iverson said he wouldn't be where he was at in his career without the great John Thompson. So you're right. It's only right to shout him out as well. He passed away today at the age of 78. So our thoughts and prayers are with all of these families, the Olsen family, Chadwick Boseman, Cliff Robinson, and, John Thompson. So I wanted to shout them all out before we get into our show. So let's talk about some basketball. As right now, live, this is a game going on right now in the second round of the Eastern Conference. We got the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat. The Milwaukee Bucks lead the Miami Heat 63-60 right now in their game one Eastern Conference second round matchup. So we want to give our predictions to everyone and break this series down before we bring on Brooks. We didn't get a chance to break it down yet. So let's talk about it, Clarence. Give me some of your keys to this second round playoff matchup between the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Well, I think the keys for the Milwaukee Bucks is Giannis finding another way to score, because that everybody finally figured out what was Giannis' game plan. It's not shooting the ball much and claim he's not working in the post as much. So I think for one of them keys, he need to find another way to score. And the second key for them is someone has to step up. And Chris Middleton, he has to be that guy to step up for his team. He's the number 2 option on the Milwaukee Bucks team. He has to step up. And the other players like Wesley Matthews, Eric Bledsoe, and Brooke Lopez, and DaVincio, the DaVincio guy, all them guys need to step up and play in this series because this Miami Heat team, they can stretch the floor, they can shoot, and they're a good defensive team, to be honest, and a great three-point shooting team. And I think for the Miami Heat key to the factor is they got to just play. They got to outrun them to enough that they get mixed up in the game plan of how they're going to defend them guys. And another thing is Jimmy Butler needs to show up in this time again. He's the leader of that team, and they look at him as the leader, the number one option. So he has to show up and play.
Yeah, one of the keys for me is going to be what is Chris Middleton going to do in this series, Clarence? Because on the season, Chris Middleton, he averaged 25 points per game on 50% shooting from the floor. But so far in the NBA playoffs, he's only averaged 15 points per game. He got into a rhythm late in that series against the Orlando Magic, but for the most part, he was neutralized. I look at the Milwaukee Bucks, and I believe Eric Spoelstra and that Miami Heat coaching staff, they're going to put together a game plan to neutralize Giannis and keep him out of the paint. They're going to build that wall up. And they got Bam, who can guard Giannis. I don't think he can necessarily stop Giannis, but I think he can contain Giannis. I think the Miami Heat, they're going to force Giannis to hit perimeter shots. And I don't think he's going to be able to do it, Clarence. For the season, he shot 30% from three-point range. He's getting better at hitting perimeter shots, but he's not hitting perimeter shots consistently. And this is the difference I told you and why I believe Giannis isn't on LeBron's level yet. He isn't on Kevin Durant's level yet. He isn't even on Steph Curry's level just yet because he can't hit the perimeter shot at a consistent rate. I believe what makes a player great is when you take away their strength and force them to the second option offensively. And if they can make things happen, that's when you're a great player. If you take the pen away from Kevin Durant could still hit the three-point perimeter shot. If you take away the pen from LeBron James now, at this point in his career, he can hit the perimeter shot. I couldn't say that in his earlier days in Cleveland, but I can say that now. So I just think the Miami Heat, they're going to put together a game plan to keep Giannis out of the paint, form that wall, and they're going to see if Giannis can hit those perimeter shots. If he can't hit those perimeter shots, they're going to have to rely on Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton, and Brook Lopez and Wesley Matthews to make plays for the Bucks to win this series. And me personally, Clarence, I don't see it happening. You got the floor, my friend.
I think the tricky thing in this series, though, Trey, is Miami Heat. They have more versatile defenders on that team, like Andre Iguodala, Jay Crowder,
yep.
and Bam, and Dragic didn't even play some defense at a time, though. And what's crazy is, though, they have more advantage to this Bucks team, but this Bucks team play with heart, and they play through Giannis. So if Giannis is not playing well, I do believe the team is not going to play well if he's not playing well. But like the players you just named, Brook Lopez, Wesley Matthews, Eric Bledsoe, and Chris Middleton, them guys have to step up and play against this team because they have versatile defenders on that team too that can keep up with them. Jimmy Butler, he don't necessarily have to be on Giannis, but when he get his presence on Giannis, he gonna have to get a stop it to him. And everybody knows Giannis lead the league in paint scoring, so that's gonna be something they have to stop. Everything all right, Trey? Yeah, but then at the same time, though, Milwaukee is the team that is a good, successful team. And they're like, I'll say they're balanced out. They're balanced out because the simple fact they have all types of scorers on their team, and everybody on that team can play defense. Believe it or not, when Giannis is on the floor, they only allow almost 97 points per possession per game. Over 100%, they only average giving up 97. That's a great defensive stat if you ask me. Oh, shoot. Well, sorry, guys. Sorry for the inconvenience that we're having right now. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, sorry about that, bro. But I want to say something real quick. I also think perimeter shooting is going to be key as well in this series The Miami Heat, they got players that can hit the perimeter shot. Goran Dragic can hit the perimeter shot. Jay Crowder can hit the perimeter shot. Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, you know what I mean? Jimmy Butler can hit the perimeter shot. They all can hit three-point shots. I think they're a better perimeter shooting team than Giannis and the Bucks are, Clarence. I also believe they shoot like 41% from three-point range. So they can hit the perimeter shot at a high level. And when it comes to the Bucks, in their 2 losses this year against the Miami Heat, they shot 31% from the floor. And in one other loss, they shot 20% from the floor. In the bubble, the one time they beat the Miami Heat, they shot 40% from the floor. If the Bucks want to have any chance of winning this series, they have to hit shots at an efficient rate. You know, that's what it keeps for me. And I think, you know, that Miami Heat defense, they can defend the perimeter very well. And again, they can contain Giannis. I don't think they can necessarily stop him, but they can contain Giannis. But Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, Clarence, they can light it up from three-point range. These are 3 of the best shooters we have in the NBA. And I also like when Eric Spoelstra brings in Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn, he's done a hell of a job as well, contributing on this Miami Heat team. I like what he's doing right now, you know, as far as coming in, being a facilitator, and getting them into their offense. During the season, he averaged 15 points per game, and he shot, looks like 50%. I'm sorry. He shot, 44%, 35% from three-point range. So he can hit the perimeter shot as well. So I just think the Bucks have to defend the perimeter in order to win this series overall.
Well, like one more thing, though, and I think for the Miami Heat, they can't get lazy on offense because remember, like you stated in that game that the Bucks beat them in a bubble. They can't get lazy on offense, jacking up a lot of shots, poor turnovers because the Bucks team is a good transition team. I ain't gonna lie, they're a good transition team. They can run the pace, and they can turn the game over as quick as possible. But the Miami Heat, they can't jack up a lot of lazy shots, and they can't get lazy on offense. They can't get too of themselves when they're leading because that's going to be important for them because the Milwaukee Bucks is a good transitioning team.
In that first round matchup against the Indiana Pacers, the Miami Heat had 5 players average over 12.5 points per game, and they averaged 111 points per game as a team. They gave up 100 points per game to the Indiana Pacers, but we know the Indiana Pacers, they're not a juggernaut like the Milwaukee Bucks are, you know, with Giannis leading that team. So offensively, they connected on 46% of their shots, which was 8th in the playoffs. I'm talking about the Miami Heat. So the Miami Heat, they have a squad that has balanced scoring. I know Jimmy Butler is the best player on the team, and he's the by far leader of the team, but they have balanced scoring with Bam, you know, Justice Winslow, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, Goran Dragic. Goran Dragic, actually, he balled out in the first round, Clarence. Goran Dragic averaged 23 points per game on 48% shooting, and he was 41% from three-point range in the first round against the Indiana Pacers. I like Goran Dragic in this matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm going to tell you one thing right now. I got a key matchup for you. If Goran Dragic outplay Eric Bledsoe, it's over for your Bucks boys. It's over. Like, we always talk about Eric Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe hasn't played well in the postseason, Clarence, for the Bucks so far. Last year, he got exposed against the Toronto Raptors and Kawhi Leonard. What's wrong with Eric Bledsoe in the playoffs?
That's a good thing because I got peers that say they don't like Bledsoe, and he was a all defensive team, first team defensive team, and that was pretty impressive though. But for me, Bledsoe, I think that the mindset of him get lazy. And he wants to run his own game because he feel like he's the point guard of the team. He wants to run it how he wants to run it, but at the same time, it's more compatible with Giannis' play because he's a good 3-point shooter and he's a nice facilitator. But for this Miami Heat, I think this key matchup in this type of game situation is Giannis versus these bigs. You really just got to see how he's gonna play out with these guys. I mean, like I said, if Miami get lazy on the offensive side and they start poorly turning the ball over, that's when Giannis takes over. He's a good one-man fast break, and he can start his own fast break. He's a good inside point. So I just want to see if they're going to be able to build that wall up against him or they just going to let Giannis be Giannis.
I just think Miami, they have more heart than the Milwaukee Bucks. I just feel like Miami have the tougher team. And I believe that's going to be major in a long playoff series in this matchup. Like I trust the Miami Heat role players more than I trust the Milwaukee Bucks role players. You know what I mean? Like I trust, Crowder. I trust out of Bayou, Dragic, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. I trust those guys more than Middleton and Hill, Matthews and Lopez and Williams and Matthews. I just don't trust those brothers, man. I really don't. I think Miami, I just think they're a tougher team. And I also believe they're a very, very well-coached team. Eric Spoelstra has won championships in the NBA, Clarence. And I remember when LeBron went to Miami along with Chris Bosh, and they teamed up with D. Wade in South Beach. LeBron, he was hesitant to trust in Eric Spoelstra. But D. Wade, he spoke up for Spoelstra and let LeBron know, hey, this guy knows his basketball. It's the reason why Pat Riley put the team in Eric Spoelstra's hands to coach, because Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches we have in the NBA. He knows his basketball, Clarence. I always talk about Mike Budenholzer and Nick Nurse and Billy Donovan and Greg Popovich and Brad Stevens as top coaches we have in the NBA. I think Eric Spoelstra deserves to be in that conversation as well, and he's a champion head coach. So he got some championships on his resume.
So I want to ask you, who win this series and how many games and why?
I think this is going to be a great series. I think it's going to be a long, extended series, and I think it's going to be a great matchup between the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm excited to see Giannis go up against Jimmy Butler and this Miami Heat team. I want to see if Chris Middleton can prove that he is a top 15 player in the NBA right now, because I got my questions about Chris Middleton right now, Clarence. Him averaging 15 points per game isn't going to get it done. I expect Middleton to be averaging at least 20 points per game. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I ain't gonna lie. I expect him to average like 25 at this point, because you're getting paid as a superstar and you're the number 2 option on the team. So you have to put up enormous points to even to feel comfortable in this playoffs.
Yeah, I just don't see it, man. I don't know why I just don't see it. But my prediction is I think Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat are going to upset Giannis and the Bucks in this second round playoff matchup between the Heat and the Bucks. I think Butler is going to make some key clutch shots in Game 7 over Giannis. And your finals prediction in the Milwaukee Bucks, I got the Miami Heat beating the Milwaukee Bucks in 7 games.
And it's funny how you say you got everybody beating Milwaukee in 7, because they know they can't beat them in 6, 5, and definitely not 4. But I'll say Milwaukee in 6 games, because I think this is going to be a long game. Like we just see an example from the Dallas Mavericks and LA Clippers. We see how that game was extended, how Kawhi had to find a way to stop Luka. And I think Giannis, he has to lead his team, and he has to find his way to slow down this young, balanced team that the Miami Heat has. But I think for Miami Heat, they slack off a lot and they be getting lazy. So if that start kicking and Milwaukee start taking advantage, then not Dallas, but the Bucks is gonna be in great hands. But I got Milwaukee in 6.
You got Milwaukee in 6. I got Heat in 7. Everybody remember, go and follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. Be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. It's that time of the week. We're going to bring in our guest on the show on the Wise Guys Sports Network. He's a 6'6", small forward out of Lafayette, Indiana. He played at Jefferson High School and led Jefferson High School basketball on a 21-5 record last year. He's had offers from Evansville, Butler, Ball State, Detroit, Western Kentucky, Western Michigan, Xavier, Louisville. We welcome to the show Mr. Brooks Barnhizer, 3-star Northwestern commit. What's up, Brooks?
What's up, guys?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Doing pretty good,
Yeah,
Brooks. Doing pretty good. So let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. Mm-hmm. At what age did you start playing basketball, and what made you fall in love with the game?
Man, I think I really started playing basketball probably since I was like 4 or 5. What really made me just fall in love with the game was just, my dad, he's a high school coach. He actually played at Purdue for a year, and then he played at Auburn his last 3. So just him always being around the game and being a coach just really kind of wanted me to play the game and just play for him. So, just that was probably just what, got me into basketball. And ever since then, I started playing. I just fell in love with it. And I just kept going.
Go ahead, Clarence.
Okay. So Brooks, it was stated that you was ranked 100. You was in the top 150 recruits from Indiana, and your number was actually 149. And I wanted to, and I seen that your bio that this was a hard commit to Northwestern. Can you explain why this was a hard commit?
Yeah, so like that kind of like ranking stuff was kind of weird. So like I wasn't in the top 150 in the nation up until it was kind of like right after our school year ended, and then I actually jumped 60 spots. So now I'm like, I think I'm at like 136 in the nation. I think I'm like number 5 in Indiana. But there was a lot of schools. Yeah, so there's a lot of schools that like if with COVID and everything, like a lot of schools are gonna come check me out this summer, and a lot of like kind of like some powerhouse schools. But just with the COVID and everything going on, I would watch, just keeping in contact with all the coaches and stuff. And I just developed a really good relationship with just the coaches at Northwestern, the players there, and I just what they tell me and what they envision for me is just something that I would really love to be a part of. So I just jumped at the opportunity to just commit, and I'm still 100% a Wildcat, and I'm excited.
Definitely. Brooks, you mentioned it a little bit. We know this year in 2020, the country has been dealing with COVID-19. So how has COVID-19 affected your training and you been able to stay in shape and be in the gym and stay in tip-top basketball shape?
Yeah, I mean, it really affected a lot because, even though like people think that, since my dad's like, my high school coach, we could still go to the gym every day, and that wasn't the case. They cut off high schools from everybody. Nobody was allowed in. So, we would have to be going to like outdoor courts. We would, we actually kind of struck gold. This one guy had kind of like a 60-foot basketball court in his house. He would let us go over there every morning and just get our workouts in. So, big, props to him just for letting us do that. But, being at, sitting at home all day during the quarantine and stuff, you would just have to be doing like, running outside with your mask on, just doing, like push-ups, sit-ups around the house, just trying to stay in your shape. So it just kind of made you, value the things you had before, everything went into lockdown. I can say that as soon as everything got lifted, now we're in school, I'm always in the gym, just, not taking it for granted for sure.
Go ahead, Clarence.
Okay, so Brooke, I forgot to ask you this though. Back when you was growing up, when you was a kid and growing up, did you have like a favorite NBA player or NBA team growing up?
So it's actually kind of funny. So I'm from Indianapolis, and a lot of people in Indianapolis, their favorite teams, of course, the Pacers. But I got a lot of hate because my favorite player like ever is Steve Nash, and it's actually why I wear number 13. But so I love the Suns. Growing up, they had Nash, Stoudemire. They had Sean Marion, all those really good players. I loved just watching that team. Yep. They were stacked. So it was just it was kind of fun because I was the only Suns fan I really knew, and I would get a lot of hate for it. My friends did, they'll just be clowning me over it, but I just really love the way they play. They're kind of way before their generation. Like they're kind of like the Warriors were in 2015. Shot a lot of threes, got up and down. So it was just a really fun team to watch, and so Nash is my favorite player for sure.
Now, Brooks, growing up, have you or do you currently play any other sports besides basketball?
Yeah, actually, I did up until I think sophomore year. I played baseball all the way up until sophomore year, and I ran cross country all the way up until sophomore year too. And then so I lived in so I'm from Indianapolis, and I lived in Alabama for 3 years. It was my 7th, 8th, and 9th grade year. And a cool thing about Alabama is they let you play high school sports as middle schoolers. So, this is actually going to be my 6th year high school basketball. And so I was running cross country, playing high school ball as a middle schooler down there. And then we moved back up to Indiana in Indianapolis just to, finish off, high school where I'm from, just around the people that I grew up with and around family. And, I just decided to focus on basketball for these last 3 years.
Okay.
I like that response. My mother, she's from Alabama, So, she talked about the South all the time. But, Brooks, I want to ask you this, though. What stands out to you the most when you step on a basketball court? Like, or as a human being, what stands out to you the most?
I mean, yeah, that's a really good question. Just kind of like for me, like when I step on a basketball court, it's just like, like you just kind of think of like all the things that like one reason why I love basketball so much is like the stuff it can do for you, and just all the memories behind it. Because a lot of people just play basketball to play basketball. They just play basketball because they're good at it. But I mean, just like all those memories, just like growing up, working out with your dad, your brother, going to AU tournaments, stepping out there on high school with your high school teammates, trying to get a win for them, because you just want to prove everybody, right, just make everybody proud. So, I mean, as soon as I get on the basketball court, that's really just all I'm thinking about. I just, how can I make my parents proud today? How can I make my friends proud today? How can I make my coaches proud today? So, it's just you just kind of like paying gratitude to where it got me. So whenever I get out on the court, I just want to, just try to prove everybody right that trusted in me for sure.
Now, Brooks, you attend Lafayette Jeff High School in Indiana, where you will be a senior this year. And last season, your team finished with a 21-5 record, which is very impressive. So what's an improvement you want to see your team make from last year to this upcoming season?
A big improvement I think we need to make is, it was kind of funny because even though we were 21-5 last year, our defense wasn't great. I mean, we had a few decent defenders, but as a team defense, team orientation, like how we, approach situations, getting up and down the court. Our defense wasn't great. We just had really good scores, and two of them actually graduated this year. One of them is my brother, who actually plays at a college near Chicago now, and then another one was another senior. So with those two guys graduating, and our big man graduated last year, and he helped us. I really want to see the kids who are still here just become a really good defensive team. And we've been working on a lot over the summer and stuff, so I think we've really gotten really good at just getting better at what we need to get better at. But for this year, I really want to see us be better defensively.
Okay. So, bro, you said you did state that you was from Indianapolis, Indiana. So did you even have a favorite football team growing up?
Not really. I mean, I guess you could say it was the Colts because, I love Peyton Manning. But, really, I would say that I watched probably college football a little more than NFL. But it would have definitely been the Colts, just hometown team, Peyton Manning. Definitely.
Yeah, okay. What's your favorite college football?
Yeah, who's your favorite college team?
It's my favorite college team is just Auburn because, my dad went there. So, just watching them play. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Auburn and stuff like that, but man, every Saturday we'd be watching the games. He would just be telling me about his college days and how it was. So my favorite team is Auburn.
Did your dad get a chance to watch and see Cam Newton play?
Yeah. So when we actually still live in Indiana in 2000. I think I was 10 when they won the national championship when Cam was there. So I mean, we just I think my brother and I think I didn't get a chance to see him in live, but I think my brother, my mom, my dad did. I think I was about 8. I don't know where I was, but they went to a game and so they saw him that year, so they got to see him live. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Now let's get back to some basketball.
Yes,
I know your father is your head coach, Mark Barnhizer. So can you talk about the pros and cons of playing for your dad?
Yeah. So that's a pretty good question. So, I would say the only cons of it, I mean, I don't really see a lot of cons in it, but, a lot of people may think that, it might be hard on you a lot and stuff like that. But I would say in this situation, a lot of the cons actually end up being positive in the end. Cause you could say, he's harder on me than he is on everybody else. You could say that he's, sometimes you come home and, the basketball talk doesn't ever stop. If you do something wrong, you're going to hear about it until you can, correct it. But, I just really think that that's just kind of that's just a respect thing. He really wants me to lead. He really wants me to be, set the example. So, if you can deal with that and you can understand, what the criticism is going to be, what it's like, if you can take it, and build on it, then I would say that, there really are no cons, but, he's definitely hard on you, more than the other kids. He's definitely, always on your tail, trying to keep you just engaged and keeping everybody engaged. So, But, I would say the pros to it are just, like, I mean, going out there, like winning a game and then coming home and, having to talk to him about it, what I did good, what I did bad. It's just those little things are really cool. And then, you can kind of be like a player coach on the floor. So, like, if he needs help or, he needs, like, to get a player voice in there to just help him out, I'm always willing to help him out.
Yeah.
So this is really cool, all the memories and stuff for sure. Those are
Hold
definitely
on, real quick, Clarence. One more question about this, your relationship with your dad. Do you feel any extra pressure being the coach's son on the team?
Like when I was growing up, I did. I would say that I definitely did. I mean, I guess that I really don't anymore because I kind of think that I kind of like proven myself, a little bit as a player. And, now it's just for fun. I can like go out there, I'm just competitive every night. But when I was growing up, there definitely was, being like a coach's kid, just expected because, there's definitely instances out there where like coach's kids, they just get kind of like a bye. And, I feel like with me and my dad, that was never the situation. I had to earn it to the next step. I had to go the extra yard to earn it with him. So, I wouldn't say that I feel any pressure now, but when I was growing up, I definitely did.
Okay, yeah, that's a good answer though, Brooks. So let me ask you this, Brooks. So let's pull away from basketball real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What is your biggest goal? I don't know for sure if you want to make it to the NBA, but do you have like a personal goal that you want to achieve when you get like get through college or even afterwards?
Yeah. So like, I mean, one of the goals, one of my biggest goals is, it's every kid's dream that plays, college basketball to go to the NBA. And, I'm always going to try to work towards that. But, sometimes you just got to be like logical and, often more times than not, as much as you hate to say it, there's a great chance that might not happen. There's a chance that it might, slightest. But, what happens if it doesn't? I would just love to play professional basketball anywhere for a little bit, if it's, overseas, Spain, anywhere like that. Just to say that I, was a professional basketball player, that'd be cool. But one thing about going to Northwestern, so like they're like ranked like in the top 10 schools in just like America for college. And it's kind of cool because they're in the Big Ten. So, I'll be able to get a good education there. And, what my goal is just to get a good job, straight whenever I'm done playing basketball, anything with that, and just set my family up for, just like a good life and being able to, like still like, maybe like, paying a little bit of, my parents,
Just live
a little bit. Yeah. Just trying to like, just thank them for everything they did. So definitely just taking care of my family and setting up, just a good position for me, myself, my future family. For sure.
We're live here with 3-star small forward commit to Northwestern, Brooks Barnhizer. Now, Brooks, you had offers from Butler, Ball State, Xavier, Louisville. What made you choose Northwestern?
Just choosing Northwestern, it was just really the like kind of like I said in the last question, just like the educational factor, like the best of both worlds kind of thing. Coach Collins, his dad was Doug Collins, coached the Bulls with Michael Jordan. And, just there's like a lot of like good, he was the head coach. He was the head assistant at Duke before he went to Northwestern. So, I just really think that he has a really good head on his shoulders when it comes to basketball. And, just the great basketball, being in the Big Ten and, just kind of going to a school like Northwestern where, you can kind of put them on the map, like me and my class and the kids there now. I really think that we can put them on the map just for basketball-wise, just kind of like how Brian McIntosh and those guys did a few years ago when they went to the tournament. But, just the best of both worlds kind of atmosphere there that just I didn't really see, I saw that there was a lot of schools that had kind of that, but not to the extent that Northwestern had. So, just with the coaching staff and the best of both worlds, I just really jumped at the opportunity. That's what I saw.
I like that. So Brooks, man. So the NBA bubble has been going on going on all season. So did you have do you have any like a team that's coming out that like who you think is going to win the NBA championship?
Man, so that is a great question. So I'm a big Luka guy. Because I kind of see I kind of see myself I kind of see a little bit of himself and me, just like a little bit. Like I'm really trying to just learn some stuff from him. Just trying to put as much as I can of his game into mine. I'm always trying to watch him because he's like, in my opinion, he's top 20, maybe even top 10 NBA player right now. Just the way all the stuff he can do.
Yeah.
When they lost, I was kind of hurt. But man, there's so many good teams. You got the Lakers, man. You got the Clippers. You got Jamal Murray and that series. They're going crazy right now.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if I could save if I had a favorite to win it.
So let's start like this. My bad, Trey. But who you got coming out the Eastern Conference? Let's start
coming out of the Eastern Conference. That's a good question. My opinion is I think whoever wins the Bucks. Oh no, wait, hold on. I'm just forgetting because the Celtics are good, the Raptors are good. All 4 teams in the East are tough. Man,
let me help you out, Brooks. Okay,
go ahead.
I told Clarence a while ago that I had the Boston Celtics coming out of the East. Now let me tell you why. Me personally, I don't believe in the Bucks. I know all year long they were the top seed in the Eastern Conference. I know it's a great chance that Giannis is going to win NBA MVP. I just believe the Milwaukee Bucks don't have enough, scoring to be able to beat the Boston Celtics in a 7-game series. I think Boston, they have 4 players who can create their own shot off the dribble. Gordon Hayward, when he returns back from his injury. Kemba Walker, he can do it. Jason Tatum can do it. Also, Jaylen Brown. So I like the Boston Celtics as a squad. And I think Boston sent a message to the rest of the NBA yesterday when they beat the Toronto Raptors, the reigning NBA champions.
I agree. And here's another thing I would say about the Celtics is, they can defend. They got a bunch of defenders with their scoring. Like they got Marcus Smart. They got Jaylen Brown who can guard. And they're big men. Even though they're not top 2 big men, they do their job. So I would say that I think they.
Tice.
If I had to,
Tice, the big man. He's
Tice,
a good. He's a good rim protector.
And then if I had to, I would say out of the East, if I had to go with my gut, I would go with the Celtics. I would go with the Celtics because of Brown and Tatum. But I think the Eastern Conference Finals would be a great series. I think it'll be the Celtics, and then it's really a toss up for. I think the other series will go 7 with the Bucks and the Heat.
What?
Man, I think it'll go 6 or 7, at least 6 or 7. Because
did you hear us talking about the series before you came on?
Yeah, a little bit.
I got Miami in 7. Clarence got Bucks in 6.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know if I can make a prediction because, you got the Bucks because you got Giannis, and then you got just a great fundamental team. But then on the side of the Miami Heat, you got it's gritty, they're tough, and I don't know. They're
loaded
scoring, and then but the Bucks are kind of top heavy with Middleton, Giannis. So I don't know. It'll be a good series.
Just so you guys know, real quick, we're heading into the 4th quarter of the Miami Heat and Milwaukee Bucks game 1, and the Miami Heat lead the Milwaukee Bucks 92-86. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Brooks, who you got coming out the Western Conference in the finals?
Oh, man. I want to hear this.
So, I got the LA teams in the finals, the LA teams in the Western Conference Finals, and then coming out of it.
I know it's hard.
It is hard because it all depends on for me, it all depends on is playoff is Paul George going to perform well in the if they get there, because Luka was kicking his tail, and Luka's not and LeBron is. Luka's not LeBron. So, when LeBron comes, I don't know. So, and then Anthony Davis is really good, too. So, I want to hear, who do you guys have coming out of the West?
Look, I got the Lakers.
You got the Lakers?
That's who he has. Okay, I have the Clips. I think the Clippers are going to go to the finals, and here's why. I think the Clippers, they're a much deeper team than the Lakers are, Brooks. I think when you combine Lou Williams with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, those are 3 players that can create their own shot. And when it gets late in ball games, I believe they can hit the perimeter shots and they can carry the Clippers to the promised land over the Lakers. When I look at the Lakers, I think the Lakers are very top heavy. I think you got LeBron James and Anthony Davis, the best duo we have in the NBA. But after that, it's a significant drop off. And I think in a series going up against a Clippers team, a well-coached Clippers team like Doc Rivers, I think Doc Rivers is going to force Kyle Kuzma, Danny Green, KCP to hit perimeter shots at a consistent rate. I don't think they can do it, Brooks. That's why I believe the Clippers are going to beat the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals and get to the NBA Finals.
Okay. And here, look, here's my thing. Here's my prediction why I have the Lakers winning. He's Trey over there is tripping. He's betting on playoff LeBron. You don't bet on playoff LeBron. And let me tell you this too.
True.
He had Portland beating LeBron James in the first round. I'm telling him.
No, hold on, Brooks.
James,
no, Clarence. You don't get to do that, Clarence. Because hold on, Brooks. Let me defend myself. I am a Melo fan. So my heart was more into that prediction than my actual basketball knowledge. Okay, if you have a favorite player, you're going to root for your favorite player to win. So I was riding that Portland Trailblazers wave. I was riding that Damian Lillard wave.
Yeah, and I have a funny story about that too, because when that was like Dame time, so they got the they beat the Grizzlies, they won all those games. I actually said to a few of my friends, I was like, Portland's gonna beat the Lakers. And I was saying it because the Lakers, man, they were averaging under like 100 points a game in the first 8 games. I was like, they're kind of looking tough, but man, I don't know, I got burnt on that one because Dame, he got hurt and everything else because they kind of fell apart. But
it was a mess. It was a mess. But I will say, and I think Clarence can even agree to this, Melo definitely rejuvenated his career, and Melo will have a job next year. For sure.
For sure. I hope it's in Portland.
You know what? I hope it's with the Lakers. I think the Lakers need Melo.
Or Brooklyn.
They do.
Yeah. But Brooks, we got to put you on spot here, bro. Who making it to the finals, the Clippers or the Lakers?
I'm going Clips in 7.
Yes.
I'm going Clips in 7.
Nice pick, Brooks. Nice pick. I agree with you. I got the Clippers too. See, here's the thing. I know LeBron and Anthony Davis are 2 of the top 5 players we have in the NBA. And I know they're going to produce at a high level. I'm not sitting here saying that I believe LeBron's not going to show up. I know LeBron is going to show up and give you his traditional 35, 10 rebounds, 10 assists type of game. He's going to average a triple-double. I know Anthony Davis is going to drop 30 points per game in the Western Conference Finals. But sometimes I do have my questions about Anthony Davis, Brooks. I told Clarence this before. I know Anthony Davis, talent-wise, is a top 5 player in the NBA. But sometimes Anthony Davis, he's passive. I want AD to be aggressive. And in order for the Lakers to have any chance of beating the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals, they need AD to be aggressive. I'm not so sure AD is going to be aggressive against the Clippers. But even if he is, do y'all really believe in KCP, Danny Green? Do y'all believe in these brothers? Morris? Do y'all believe in them? I don't.
And my thing, the reason why I'm going with the Clippers is like you said, like you got LeBron, you got AD, and then like, are you gonna win a championship with Alex Caruso as your starting point guard? Like, I just don't see, like, with Caruso, and then you got like Kuzma. Like, I mean, I would rather bet on. I would rather bet on Lou Williams. I would rather bet on a Paul George. I would rather bet on the second, the secondary, like the bench players. So I just think I think that the Clippers like the supporting cast to those two. I just think that's the reason why they'll win in 7.
Go ahead.
The bench hasn't been playing well. Y'all bet. So y'all telling me that y'all go bet. Oh, y'all go bet. Pandemic P over AD. AD has been playing amazing. He's been playing amazing. And Trey, you remember you used to state, he's not scoring in the fourth quarter. Now he is. Some games he did play the fourth quarter though. But I think this Lakers team is definitely go to the finals though, because I'm not betting over the playoff LeBron. And I think LeBron, he's gonna show up like you stated, Trey. He's gonna show up. And Brooks, this is when we gotta take you to school, man. When you betting against the king, man, you gonna feel the king pain. And I truly believe that if Paul George is not, if he keeps choking, he's gonna hurt the team more. And Kawhi, he's gonna be dropping he gonna be out to drop like 40 or 50 because Paul George don't want to score. But I will say that the Lakers bench, has actually been playing well. They actually been playing better than the Clippers bench, if you believe it that. They've been knocking down threes, and Montrezl Harrell, he came late back into the bubble, and he hasn't performed at well. I think he only had like one good game against the Mavs. I'm betting on this Lakers team, man. This Lakers team.
See, Brooks, I look at the Clippers, though, as being the better team defensively, believe it or not, especially on the perimeter. Like, on the perimeter, they have 4 players they can throw at LeBron James and Patrick Beverly, Marcus Morris, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George. All 4 of those players can guard LeBron James at some point in that series. I don't know if LeBron's going to have enough in the tank to be able to overcome all 4 of those defenders that the Clippers are going to throw his way. And like I said, I believe in AD and LeBron. I don't think the Lakers have a reliable third option that can score the basketball enough to beat the Clippers in a 7-game series. So I got the Clips. Clarence got the Lakers. But real quick, I want to ask you one more question, Brooks. Another question. Who are your top 5 players right now in the NBA currently?
In the NBA, man. So like everybody's healthy.
Yeah.
So can I just say top 5, or do I have to list them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nah, just give me your top 5.
Top 5. All right. So LeBron, of course. I would put. All right. So I would go. Now this is just me. I'm kind of biased, but so LeBron's definitely in there. KD's definitely in there. Kawhi's definitely in there. AD, I would say, is probably definitely in there. And then with the 5th, I can't forget about him. I'm going to put Curry in there.
Really?
Hold on. Time out.
Yeah.
Time out, Brooks.
What's
now,
up?
Do you believe Anthony Davis is better than Giannis?
Oh, no. Hold on. Let me revise my 5.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
LeBron. I forgot about Giannis. I think I forgot about but I would just take AD off for Giannis. I still think you got to have Curry in there. When Curry's healthy, 2-time MVP, I think you got to have him in there.
So you actually think that Giannis is better than Anthony Davis?
I think like if I'm by themselves, player wise, I don't even know. It's a toss up between those two. I mean, I don't even know. That is a hard comparison because they're kind of. Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say because like AD, like man, when he's hot, I mean nobody can stop him because I mean he can shoot better than Giannis, of course. But
yes,
my thing about Giannis is, I mean, I know he won Defensive Player of the Year and this shit, and I know AD was in the runner for that, but like Giannis is just like he's just like he can. I don't know. He's
more dominant.
I would say I think he's more dominant because he's like kind of like the top player on the team. Like he doesn't. I mean, Chris Middleton's really good, but like it's not like LeBron. It's not like you're sharing this limelight with LeBron. So you kind of do get the credit for that. But I mean, his team. I don't know. Both their teams are good, so it's really a toss-up in my opinion.
See, I believe, Brooks, that AD is better than Giannis because offensively, I think Anthony Davis is a better scorer than Giannis is. I think Giannis has limitations offensively. Clarence keep putting his head down, but it's a fact. That's part of the reason why the Raptors upset the Bucks last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. Nick Nurse and that coaching staff, they put together a game plan, and they basically forced Giannis to hit perimeter shots. He couldn't do it. We know Anthony Davis, as a scoring threat, he can hit perimeter shots at a consistent rate. That's the difference to me in Giannis and Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis, scoring-wise, he gives you more of a premium than Giannis overall.
Mm-hmm. Now, but at the time, though, Brooks, he only stated offensively. But Giannis impacts the game on both sides of the floor. He's a better passer. In my opinion, he dropped better statistic numbers than AD probably ever did. And I think for Giannis, though, he's just a driven force, like on both sides of the floor, and he can defend in like 1 through 5, and he just got that killer instinct in his mind. Like, look, I'm the best player, and it's another reason why I'm winning MVP because I'm the best player in the NBA, regardless respect to LeBron James. But I'm the best player, and he's showing it why he is. Though he's leading his team. He's leading his team in all categories. That's not.
But hold on, Clarence. You say he a better facilitator than AD. You can't forget AD playing with LeBron. So that's LeBron's role on that Lakers team. LeBron is the playmaker. That's not Anthony Davis's role. On the Bucks, On the Bucks, it starts and ends with Giannis. So you can't really say, oh, Giannis is a better facilitator than Anthony Davis. That's not Anthony Davis's role with the Lakers.
Do you think you really thought Giannis' role was that? It was through to him. It was through to him. Like Jay, that's why when him and Jason Kidd was teaching him to facilitate and how to be a good teammate to his player. And I think for that type of situation, when you're the best player on your team, you got to do whatever it takes to make your team better. Like even if you're scoring, rebounding, and passing, even on the defensive side. And I think for AD in this type of situation, he got a better player around him than what Giannis had. And even in the Pelican years, though, he could have been a good facilitator there, but he wasn't. His main thing was scoring into the paint and rebounding. But Giannis, it's everything the above: winning, team play, scoring, defensively. Look, Giannis is better, man. He's better. I don't know how people can just think AD's better.
Brooks, who is your NBA MVP this year?
This year, if I was giving somebody an MVP, I would go Giannis.
Wow. So you think you over LeBron?
I would give it to him over LeBron.
Okay, let me give you my case for LeBron. See, I think if you take LeBron James off the Lakers, I don't think the Lakers are our number one seed in the Western Conference. If you take Anthony Davis off the Bucks, I think the Bucks are still a playoff team. They can still make the playoffs, and they'll be like a top 6 seed to me because I think the Bucks are well coached. Mike Budenholzer is one of the best coaches we have in the NBA. He also was a great coach for the Atlanta Hawks and led those Hawks teams to the playoffs while he was their head coach. I think Budenholzer has a system in place for the Milwaukee Bucks for them to be successful. When it comes to the Lakers, you take LeBron James off that Lakers team, they're not a top 5 seed in the tough Western Conference. In the East, I still think the Bucks are top 6 or 7 seed in the Eastern Conference, even without Giannis.
So hold on, Brooks. So you basically saying Middleton is going to be a better leader than Anthony Davis?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we know Anthony Davis is better than Middleton. I just think the Bucks have better role players than the Lakers, and I think they're better all around coached than the Lakers are. So I think when you combine those two things, I think that takes away a little bit of Giannis's value compared to LeBron James. So that you say what, Brooke?
So like I kind of like I can see where you're coming from, but like in my opinion, let's say like you take LeBron, you take Giannis off each team, you might be right. They're more like actually like more valuable. LeBron, I can see that, but I think the Lakers would be better off, like a better team than the Bucks. I know the Bucks are in the East and it's a little weaker, but like I just don't think Chris Middleton is the same level of player as AD is. And I mean on that Lakers team, you do have you got a few talented kids supporting cast and stuff like that, and I know that Budenholzer is a way better coach than Vogel, even though Vogel's not that bad of a coach. But I just think that you could go farther with AD than you could with Middleton and that Bucks team.
I agree. That's all I'm saying. And the thing is though, bro, like, don't get me wrong, the Lakers is in the Western Conference, so they're gonna have probably a tougher task than them. But AD is much of a capable, better leader than Chris Middleton. Like Middleton is one of them guys that he need to feel off somebody's energy. Like Giannis, he needs Giannis to be successful. And believe it or not, though, like people say, this one guy was trying to say, but they were 6-3 without 5-3 without Giannis. I'm like, that's 8 games compared to 60 games, bro. How would they be in 60 games? Like, do you believe they gonna be still playing well or shooting better without Giannis? That's only an 8-game stretch, man, compared to 60 games that they played this bubble. Well, I just don't understand.
Okay,
tell Trey like,
let's get back to Brooks though, real quick. Brooks, let me ask you a question. Who do you compare your game to in the NBA right now? Like, if you looked at a player and said, "I like the way he plays," I'm not necessarily trying to copy, but you're trying to emulate and try to take things away from their game to apply to your game. Which player currently in the NBA would you say that you would do that for? Who would you say it is?
Just like kind of like what I was saying earlier, because like so even though like I'm 6'7", and I actually play point guard on my high school team, and like and that's kind of like what I'm being recruited as for college. That's one of the reasons like why I kind of like Northwestern, because I think they kind of see me as like a combo guard rather than a three. I mean, like I'll play the three a little bit, but they kind of see me as a combo guard as well. So, I'm just really kind of like what Luka does, the way he can facilitate, score when he needs to. I'm trying to get, to be, like a hallmark version of that, just like an off-brand version of that as much as I can, because I just think that the way he plays, the way he leads at his age, as much as I can take away from him, I would love to just be as close as I can to his game. But yeah, so I'll definitely just look at Luka in that aspect.
Definitely. I like that. I like that question, man.
All right, Brooks, I got another question for you. Clarence, you got a question you want to say?
No. I'm listening.
Okay, Brooks, I was going to ask you. Now, I know head coach Chris Collins of Northwestern, he's entering his 8th season as head coach, and he has a record of 109 and 118 and won 48% of his games. Mm-hmm. How excited are you to play for Coach Collins?
I'm really excited. One of the like a lot of I remember when like he was actually telling me about like some people may say that his job at times like it might be in jeopardy or like you don't want to go there because he's not he might be out there in a year, but he actually signed like an extension through 2020 something. But I'm super excited, and I think that the way he coaches it's kind of like his dad. Me and my dad, because my dad's a coach. We love the way that he kind of like the offenses that he runs. It's kind of just like fast paced, and it's not really Big Ten basketball, if that makes sense. Big Ten basketball kind of slow. Look for a good shot.
Yeah.
I mean, they look for a good shot, but they play fast. They kind of play like modern day. Trying to get up and down, and a lot of his losses on his record are kind of just he's had really young teams, and before they got really good, so he would have to go through a few years. Like when he took Northwestern's program up out of where it was, man, it was in the gutter. Nobody knew about him. They had never been to a tournament. They finally got to the tournament a few years ago. We're trying to get back to there. I think that we'll be able to, and I'm just really excited to go there and try to be a part of his team and his vision for the program.
All right, I like that answer. So one more question. I'm gonna lead this to Trey. So, okay. So your current is there any, and they're like, I know this like a funny question though. Once you get to college and stuff, is there like any way you might swap jerseys, like change the jersey number? Could you say you like?
Yeah. So like, I hope that 13 is open when I get to like I hope 13 is available. I hope like nobody's wearing it when I get to Northwest. I don't think anybody is right now. So I think I'm good right now. But I've always worn it growing up. So, it would be weird to change, but, if I had to change, I might change, my brother and my dad always wore 44. So like, if that's not there, somebody's wearing 13, I might have to pick up my brother's number and my dad's number, wear 44. So you never know. So that's a good question. I like that question.
All right, Brooks, what do you think will be the biggest challenge transitioning from high school basketball to college basketball?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for that is just, you go from playing, some high school freshmen, high school sophomores, high school is, you go from playing kind of kids to grown men. The people that play in the Big Ten, they're established, they're pros, they've been there, they've done it, they've seen it all. I gotta, that's just kind of like a wake up call. I can't, now that I'm going to Northwestern, I can't be, relaxed. I can't be, I'm a D1 basketball commit. I'm higher than this. I'm higher than that. I'm at the bottom of the food chain as soon as I get there. So I just got to keep working, trying to get stronger every day, get better every day. Have a good high school year, and then go to Northwestern, just being ready to work. And trying to go at those Big Ten guys, go at those Michigan States, the IU's, the Purdue's. So just definitely the people I'm about to play will be the biggest challenge.
For you personally, Brooks, what are some improvements you want to make on your game personally heading into your senior season?
I definitely want to, I'm trying to get it, as athletic as possible. If I, just putting on, getting a little stronger, a little more athletic, just kind of developing my body into a, grown man's body, a Big Ten body. I'm always trying to just keep improving everything in my game. Like, making sure, just playing point guards really help my handle, just keep, keep my handle right, keep getting better at that, keep my shot, trying to make it as pure as possible. Just being able, just lead, it kind of goes beyond just the basketball part, trying to, be a good leader, become more of a team player, all through and through outside of basketball, hanging out with teammates, taking them to places, just going the next step, just trying to be as good as I can, in and outside the court.
Is there a certain player you most excited to watch this year in college basketball?
I'm just kind of ready to watch all the kids in Northwestern just to see what they can do. They got a whole nother year. They got better. I'll definitely be looking at them. And if Cade Cunningham, I know they kind of got Oklahoma State not allowed to play in the tournament or something like that. But, I like his game a lot. It'll be cool to see what he does at Oklahoma State.
He is a 6'6" small forward, 3-star Northwestern commit from Lafayette, Indiana. We're here with Brooks Barnhizer. Hey, Brooks, we appreciate you coming on the show this evening. We're definitely going to bring you back on sometime before basketball season, bro. We definitely thank you for coming on the Wise Guys Show tonight on the Worldwide Sports Network.
Appreciate you.
Anytime.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you, Brooks.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to come back.
Yes, sir. We'll come back, bring you back on and talk some basketball. And like I said, be sure to shout us out on your social media, bro. You got any social media you want to shout out real quick before we go?
Just my Instagram is just Brooks Barnhizer. My Twitter is just Brooks Barnhizer. And then, that's pretty much it. But I'll definitely shout you guys out. Thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you, Brooks, for coming on. He's attending Northwestern in fall of 2021. Have a good season this year.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Yes, sir.
See you guys. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
That was a great interview from Brooks Barnhizer. He'll be attending, again, Northwestern in fall of 2021. 3-star small forward commit. Definitely excited for Brooks. That was a great interview with Brooks, Clarence.
Yeah, that was definitely a good interview with Brooks. Learned some stuff from him, and he actually trying to develop his game like Luka, and I think that's very exciting for a guy that's 6'6", 6'7".
Let's transition to some NBA real quick before we get out of here. Last night, the Denver Nuggets, they beat the Utah Jazz 119-107. They've won 2 in a row, and now that series is tied at 3-3. There is a game 7 scheduled for tomorrow night. Yesterday, Jamal Murray, he balled out. He had 50 points, 17 of 24 shooting from the floor, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Donovan Mitchell had a great game as well, 44 points, 14 of 25 shooting from the floor, 9 of 13 from three-point range, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. So what was your biggest takeaway, Clarence, from that Game 6 matchup between the Nuggets and the Jazz?
I think the biggest takeaway from this game, man, just the guards are dominating. They are dominating at the point guard position. And I think I don't.
Are you okay?
And
you
I
okay?
think excuse me for the baby. Yeah, she just want to come on the show. And I think,
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think for that situation, that was a good guard play. That was guard versus guard, best player versus best player. And Jamal Murray, he showed that he's the best player. I mean, they won 2 straight, game 2 and 3. He had like 14 and 12 in those points, and he felt like he didn't show up for his team. And I've been saying it. Jokic has to play better though, but since he hasn't been playing better, I've been seeing a lot of Jamal Murray taking the post shot and shooting well. And like you stated, he was 17 out of 24, 9 for 12. He shot over 70%. He had a great game. And I don't care what Donovan Mitchell numbers look like. Murray shot over 70% and putting up 50 points. Like, that is outstanding. Like, something that I can't ignore.
Yes, Jamal Murray been balling out this year. And I'm going to be honest, Clarence, coming into this series, I knew Jamal Murray was good, but I didn't know he was this good. I'll be honest. I didn't know he was good. Like, I was excited to see Donovan Mitchell in this series because I know Donovan Mitchell is a superstar on the come up. When I talk about the young best players we have in the league, Jason Tatum, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, like Devin Booker, I've always included Donovan Mitchell in that conversation. And I know what Donovan Mitchell is about. But this season, Jamal Murray has really, really shown me something, and he's balled out. On the season, he averaged 19 points per game on 46% shooting from the floor, and he shot 35% from three-point range. But in this series, he's been hitting shot for shot with Donovan Mitchell. I mean, Donovan Mitchell dropped 44 points last night. That's great. But Jamal Murray, he put up 50 points. He had 50 points. And when I look at these two players, Clarence, I'm thinking about rivalries in the NBA. I'm thinking about, we had Kevin Durant and LeBron James for a time period. Back in the day, we had Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. We had these rivalries that we look forward to year in and year out. I'm looking forward to seeing Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell compete against each other for many years to come. And I'm excited about Game 7 tomorrow night. To be honest, I don't know who I'm going to pick in this game because both of these players are playing at a high level and they're putting their teams on their backs and carrying them in late game situations.
Definitely.
And I got to give them a ton of credit. I'm excited to see this Game 7 matchup between Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray tomorrow night. And this is going to be a rivalry, Clarence, we're going to be talking about for many years to come in the future.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm excited to see this game. They put it on ABC on Tuesday, so it's kind of feel like an NBA Finals game because it's on Tuesday on ABC. But I'm excited what Jamal Murray's gonna do again, man, because this is his second. Him and Donovan Mitchell, they the players since AI and Michael Jordan to have multiple 50-point games in the playoffs, and that's impressive.
Who you got winning?
When you got winning? Oh well. It's been a tough one, and I thought Utah can really close it out in 5, but Jamal Murray and they fought back in this series, and I'm actually picking the Denver Nuggets in this game.
I picked the Denver Nuggets before the series to win this series in 6 games. Clearly, I was wrong. I'm going to roll with Donovan Mitchell. I'm going to give Donovan Mitchell a slight edge over Jamal Murray, but it's going to be epic tomorrow night in Game 7. This is going to be a great game. I don't expect a blowout tomorrow night. I expect this to be a close game throughout the entire 48 minutes, but I think Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz will outlast Jamal Murray and the Denver Nuggets. I got Donovan Mitchell over Jamal Murray tomorrow night in Game 7, and I think the Utah Jazz are going to play the Clippers in the second round.
So let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this before we go out. Who do you think is the better matchup between, whoever wins Game 7 tomorrow, who do you think the better matchup between the Clippers?
I would say the better matchup for the Clippers will be the Utah Jazz, but I think the Denver Nuggets give the Clippers more issues. I think the Utah Jazz, they don't have a post-up player like the Joker that can get his own shot and create some issues for the Clippers defensively. I think when you look at the Joker, he is going to cause some issues for that Clippers defense. And I think the Clippers having to match up against Murray and Jokic could be an issue for them throughout the course of a 7-game series. I think they'll still beat the Nuggets, but I think it'll be a tougher matchup going up against the Denver Nuggets compared to the Utah Jazz. I think with Utah Jazz, if you just slow down Donovan Mitchell, you can beat the Utah Jazz. With the Nuggets, if you slow down Jokic, Murray will ball out. If you slow down Murray, Jokic will ball out. So I think it'll be tougher for the Clippers going up against the Nuggets.
I think the Nuggets will be a better matchup, and I think they're going to win Game 7 because I feel like they're big. They can stretch the floor. They're not fast. They're not a really fast team and a good defensive team, but they have a lot of bigs that can really guard the perimeter and the paint. They're more versatile, and I think when Jokic spacing out the big man, it gives Jamal Murray the opportunity to shoot the ball well. So it's gonna be a pretty exciting match for this Game 7. But I think the Nuggets will pair out better with the Clippers.
For sure. Everybody, remember go and follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. We would like to thank Brooks Barnhizer, 3-star Northwestern small forward commit, for coming on the show with us this evening. Also, RIP to Luke Olson and Chadwick Bosman and Cliff Robinson and the great John Thompson. RIP to all 4 of those individuals. Our prayers and thoughts are with their families. We're live on the Worldwide Sports Network. Clarence, I'm signing off here. I'll see you on Wednesday's night show, bro.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.